Hello, happy Thursday, Facebook family. I'm Lanita, hosting your favorite student success strategist. And listen, we're going to talk today, we're going to dissect building your 2021 support tribe. And I use the word tribe to basically describe the people who you are closely knit to, the people who you kind of yield to, or the people who you lean on in times of like encouragement, or your village. It's the people who you have a connection with, or you desire to have a connection with. And today we're going to talk about three kinds of persons that I feel every student should have in their tribe. So before we get started, I am Lanita, hosting your favorite student success strategist. I coach high school students who identify and go after their dream career. And I love the work that I do with students. Those of you who have ever met me in any capacity, whether it be at an event or in a virtual space, welcome to tonight's Teenage Thursday, where we're giving parents and organization leaders who work with teens practical tools to put inside their toolbox to take to the NICU, the neonatal intensive care unit, which is what I call home, to help continue to evolve and nurture and develop their young person. So let's jump in. If you're watching live, you can type in, "Hey, I'm here." And if you catch the replay, you can type in hashtag replay. So, three types of persons I feel every student should have in their tribe. And I want to preface the conversation by saying, at every part of my journey, I had mentors that I onboarded and offboarded to gather new. So, at every part of my journey, whether it be in high school, when I got to college, when I graduated college, when I was early in my profession, and now as in senior level, as a senior level professional, at every part of my journey, I onboarded and offboarded mentors. So onboarding meaning I was seeking them, I was cultivating or developing relationship with them. Offboarding meaning I felt the relationship had matured at its capacity, and there was an opportunity for me to onboard a new person with a different set of skills and a different set of attributes that I could learn from. And so throughout my course of journey, I've developed so many relationships, down to my high school guidance counselor, who I still keep in touch with today, my eighth grade mentor, whom I still keep in touch with today, all the way up until today, where a lot of business mentors, most of them are business related and spiritual. And so, three types of persons that I found to be really helpful to be a part of my tribe. And I'm going to walk you through those three today. But of course, I would love your feedback. And if you have a person or counsel, a type of person that you have, definitely share. Okay, so the first person out of the three, the first person I feel every student needs to have, and I've been fortunate to have, is a connector. A connector is someone whom is sometimes a gatekeeper to a decision maker, and a gatekeeper is simply someone whom you have to pass through to get to the person who says yes or no. So, like a principal, a secretary, principal, the principal secretary is a gatekeeper to the principal. Um, who would be the gatekeeper to the president? I should know this. Is it their chief of staff? Maybe their chief of staff might be the gatekeeper to the president. If you work in the workplace, your CEO, the gatekeeper might be their executive assistant or their admin. So typically a gatekeeper is a great connector, and it's someone who has direct access to someone who makes a decision. In the business world, gatekeepers are those whom are part of the process. Maybe they're not the actual decision maker, but they sit at the table with those who make the decisions, or they have access. Connectors have been so instrumental. Listen, when I transitioned to travel the country, it was because I was picked up by a college speakers agency, and there was a gatekeeper whom I had to develop relationship with. Now, I didn't know this, but there were some people, we're going to talk about this in a second, who were already a part of the organization, who were saying, "Hey, do this, get this into play, make sure you have this." They were connectors to the gatekeeper. And eventually I was able to get that gatekeeper on the phone, and they onboarded me. A very selective process. They only take 10 speakers a year, and over 100 applicants apply every year. So having the relationship with connector increased my credibility, and it gave me a stronger candidacy. Connectors are people who I feel like all of us have to be privy to know. They're very great persons to have in your tribe. And if you're thinking to yourself, well, how in the world do I meet a connector? Regular networking, regular talking. When I say regular, I mean just being yourself, being curious. Hey, what is it that you do? Or, okay, well, what is your responsibility in that role? Okay, and understanding that and just taking a mental note, just being very cognizant and conscientious about how the people that you make connections with or the people that you interact with, where they are, where their place is in the marketplace. And sometimes we have access to people and their connectors and we don't know because we never ask. So I always ask people, okay, well, tell me about what do you do or what do you do on the weekends? Because I want to get a feel for, not all the time, that's disingenuous, but I do want to get a feel for what are some of the things they're connected to if there's an opportunity for us to work together. So connectors are the first person I feel every student should learn or get in the habit of being intentional about connecting with. So the second one is a driver. I feel every student should have a driver in their circle. A driver is a highly goal-oriented person. This person has sometimes dreams and ideas beyond the capacity that we can ever think. We watch them in amazement, like, how in the world did you think of that? And we also watch them go after and get that thing that they dream about, whether it seems unattainable. They are like steadfast in pursuit of it. I feel we should be connected to drivers because energy is contagious. So you want to be amongst people who are achieving the things that they desire because it will become infectious. When you see people winning, you say, okay, I can win too, or I can do that too. At least that's how I feel. There are sometimes we see people who are doing things, and I've heard people, some people may say, well, I might get a little jealous, or I start to compare myself. Maybe those are some of the self-sabotaging thoughts that you have, but if you extract that self-sabotaging thoughts, what you are being is challenged to think bigger, and you're being exposed to what's possible by watching someone's journey manifest. If you are in close proximity with a driver, it is contagious. You almost have to say, okay, well, what can I do? What baby steps can I do? And if you're really smart, you'll ask them, teach me, like, what advice do you have for me? How can I? Where do you need help? I'm trying to think of a driver that I've had in my circle. Let me think of a driver. Okay. There is this one guy. Before, when I thought speaking nationally was like impossible, like who in the world? And I used to watch him. His name is Justin Jones Fosho. And I watched him on Facebook. He was also represented by the agency that I was pursuing to connect with. And to connect with him personally just seemed unattainable. Like, okay, he's really busy. Why would he want to talk to me? So I reached out to him. I messaged him on Facebook and I said, hey, I love what you're doing. I would love to do what you're doing. I would like to learn a little bit more about it. And he said, let's do it. And I couldn't believe how open he was to the conversation. And at this time, I didn't really have anything to prove to him that I was really serious, but he took my word. And when I got on the phone with him and he asked me all these questions, that's my little cousin you see in the background. You might as well go ahead and say hi, Antonio. Just wave at the people. Say hi. I invited him to be a part of my live. I asked him to sit to the side, but if he wants to peek in, that's where he is. You guys can say hi to Antonio in the comments. But he started telling me, there's all you have to do is blank, 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 blank. He also told me, and this is what really encouraged me. He said, I only work January through July. The rest of the months I spend with my family. And I could do that because I am generating that kind of revenue. He said, the goal is to pay off my family's house, the house that my family owns. That's my goal. And when I tell you that stretched my mind, I'm like, oh my God, that's possible doing this business? He was like, absolutely it is. Now, it's a lot of hard work. All he did was light a fire in me that was dimly lit already. But when he came and told me that thing turned all the way up. And he started telling me, get some of these things in order. And it's not far-fetched for you. And he was not lying. Now, I haven't been able to do that. He's been putting in years of work to get to that place. But the point I'm trying to make is that while being in proximity to him, it pushed me. I wasn't intimidated. I didn't feel less than. I felt inspired. And that's what drivers do to us. They stretch our capacity. We see it as being very reachable. It's obtainable because this person that we're so close to we ended up becoming really close, has made it seem very possible. So you need connectors, you need drivers. And I have family visiting, and if you hear noise in the background, that's them. Antonio's mom and some other people visiting whom are in town. But you also need encouragers. And this is one that I actually undervalued until I got a little bit more mature. And encouragers are people whom are they're very good at the crafting words regardless of how you feel. You can call on them to feel like they can uplift you in some degree. You call on them when you get good news and you want somebody to share in your good feelings. You call on them when you're not feeling good because something didn't happen in your favor, or maybe something is bothering you, or you feel stuck. And they call, you talk to them. It's something about how they speak and something about how well they know you that you feel drawn to them. And typically, in my experience, encouragers are the types of relationships that I have found to be the most sustaining because there will never be a time where you won't need encouragement ever. As much as, as much as God has done in the past few years, I still need encouragement. I still need it, and I value those relationships more than any kind of connector, any kind of driver. The encourager is the one that sits close with me. Typically, an encourager is also a good spiritual accountability partner. They often tend to be really in tune with their spirituality. And in my instance, they've been great prayer warriors. So I'd share with them something that's on my heart or something that's consuming me or something that I'm praying for. And they're going to battle, they're going to their prayer room with me on their own time. So connectors, people who work very closely to gatekeepers, encouragers, people who can like pull out a good word. And maybe it's not biblical, but it's encouraging, it's uplifting. You feel changed. And then drivers, those are high achieving persons who are going after their goals. And you can see it. It's a very like, you can attach the work ethic that they've put in to the outcome that you're seeing. Connectors, drivers, and encouragers. I feel we all need every attribute that I described to be a part of our support tribe. We can't do life alone. If you think you can do life alone, you go ahead by yourself because I don't want no parts of that. And in fact, 2020 made me value relationships more after my therapist revealed to me that I actually do require a lot. I require an emotional connection. That's Tonio. So as you guys can see, I have a smart desk. Tonio, don't touch that for me, please. We're almost finished. What was I saying? My therapist revealed to me that I actually require an energy transfer that I get through people. So I require a nice feel good talking to. I require a hug. Like that transfer of energy does something to my mood. It changes how I feel. And when I don't have that for a long period of time, it affects my mental health. I didn't realize this, but she made me very aware of that just based off of the absence of that in 2020. So I value that exchange that I have in relationship with people, and talking to them and visiting family members that I love, spending time with people like Tonio when they come and visit. And so relationships are they matter, even if you are an introvert. So whether they're inside the home, outside the home, they absolutely matter. And that's my topic for tonight's Teenage Thursdays. Come in, Tonio, so you can say hi to the people. Tonio's been hanging out with me for the past 2 days, and he's been a super good helper. He helped me carry the groceries in today. So I'm glad you came by today. Isn't he handsome? Do you guys have any questions? Those who are watching live, any persons in your circle that you can identify with, like, oh my goodness, yes, they are definitely an encourager, a driver, and a connector. Or if they're another kind of person that you have in your circle that you say, yeah, I need that, and I have it. If anything, while you all are putting that in the comments, if anything, just think about what you need. What gets you to have a change in behavior? What gets you at your highest capacity? What gets you, what kind of relationship gets you out of the bed when you're having a tough day? What do you need to be fueled? And when you identify that, you can begin to look for those attributes in persons who may live outside of your home. Don't do life alone. You don't have to. You definitely don't have to. Hey, Professor McCall, he said, yes, you can identify with some of those connectors, encouragers, and drivers. Awesome. Awesome. Tanya, you got something you want to share? He says no. All right. Well, we're gonna wrap up tonight. Again, I'll meet you here every Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And yeah. Yeah, I said this really spoke to me this week. Awesome. Get the people in your circle. Get what you need. That's what my bishop would say. Get what you need. Don't be shy about it. And one of the questions that I often get was, what do I say to a person that I don't know and I'm reaching out to them? You just be very transparent. Hey, I want to be intentional about the kind of persons that I'm surrounded by. I would love for you to journey with me through 2021 and be specific about what you need from the person. You know, I need accountability in the area of, I just want to be, I want to shadow the work that you do, or I admire how you engage with your family. I would love to like sit at your feet and learn some of the things that you have learned as a mom or a dad. Like, be intentional. Say what you want. I'm a black and white person, and I do not like gray. I don't like when people approach me with very vague, "Hey, I want to connect with you," because my question is, why? Like, what do you want from me so I can tell you if I can give it to you or not? And if I can't, I'm going to refer you to someone who can. When someone comes to me and says, "Hey, I would really like mentorship in the area of like celibacy. I'm struggling with remaining abstinent," for I can get with that. But the whole gray piece, I can't get with. I'd be like, I don't know. This seem a little, I'm uncomfortable. So find what's comfortable for you. Hi, Marshawn. I so appreciate your support. Thanks for stopping by and joining us on our Teenage Thursdays and for the 12-day series as well. Okay. Well, I promised Tonio this wouldn't be long. I wouldn't stay on here long. Didn't I say that? So I'm going to go and call it a night. I will see you guys next Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Want to say peace? Peace.